Hi, boys and girls. Today's lesson is about using big words. Boys and girls, and welcome to Learning with Miss Nancy. I'm so glad that you've decided to spend some time with me because I love spending time with you. Today we're going to talk about using big words and why it's important to start using big words right now. For those of you who are in preschool, nursery school, daycare, and homeschool, it is not too early to start using big words and making those words part of your everyday vocabulary. Now you might say, well, I'm a little kid. Why do I have to learn big words? Well, big words help you to understand reading better. It builds your comprehension. It builds your word attack skills. It builds your knowledge about the world around you, and it helps you when you engage in conversation. You have interesting and rich vocabulary to add to the conversation. And it helps you when you have to take those standardized tests. Oh, yes, you'll score over the moon. Yes? So it's time to start learning big words now and using big words now. I want you to take a minute to listen to a little poem that I put together just for you to help you understand why it's important to use big words. Sometimes it's necessary to increase your vocabulary. Use a big word when a small word won't do. Sometimes it's necessary to increase your vocabulary. Use a big word and see what it does for you. You might say, Mommy, I'm so tired, and that's okay. But if you say, Mommy, I'm exhausted, then Mommy will see you in a different way. You might say, Mommy, I feel happy, and that sounds nice. But if you say, Mommy, I'm elated, well, elated gives happy some extra spice. Sometimes it's necessary to increase your vocabulary. Use a big word when a small word won't do. Sometimes it's necessary to increase your vocabulary. Use a big word and see what it does for you. So, did you like that poem? It gives you a better idea as to why you should use big words. Big words tickle your ears. Big words will make people stop and look at you in amazement. They'll say, oh, that little boy, that little girl, listen to the vocabulary words that he or she is using. Big words just helps you to add to the conversation actively, okay? So, I remember when I was a little child, my mom and dad would encourage us to sit and listen to the world news. And when I was little, I did not want to listen to the world news. I wanted to go outside and play. But now that I'm older, I understand why Mom and Dad made us sit down in front of the television and listen to the news. Because newscasters, they have an extensive vocabulary. Newscasters use words that you've never heard before. And newscasters use words in beautiful sentences that you can replicate or duplicate or use as your own. They help you to build your own vocabulary list of words. So I understand now. So for you, maybe you'd like to listen to the news and listen to how newscasters speak, or if you're looking at something on Facebook, listen to how the verbiage or wording is used and add that to your vocabulary bank. Because remember, when I go over words, I always say, add it to your vocabulary bank because it helps to build your arsenal of words. Now, every student, every child should have something called a thesaurus. A thesaurus is nothing but a book of millions of words. And what a thesaurus does, it'll take one word and give you so many words that mean the same thing as the very word you're looking for. So when you go to the bookstore with mommy and daddy, see if they will purchase for you a child or children's thesaurus. This is an adult thesaurus. Look how big it is. And it looks like a dictionary. And in many cases, you'll see a dictionary / thesaurus. It's like a dictionary, but it has tons and tons and tons of words that will help you increase your vocabulary. Okay? Now, how do you feel today? You might say, well, I feel happy. And that's good. Can you draw a happy face for me? Let's use our magic finger and draw a circle, an eye, nose, and a smiley face. Yes, that's happy. Okay? So if I said to you, how do you feel? And you say, I feel happy. Well, happy's good. But guess what? There's so many words that mean the same as happy. Big words. So what I did, I looked in the thesaurus just to help you out. And I found so many words that mean the same as happy. Yes. And here are some of the words. How do you feel? I feel exuberant. That's a big word for happy. How do you feel? I feel, pleasant. Yes. How do you feel? I feel fortunate. That's a nice word. How do you feel? I feel content. That's another word for happy. Delighted, lighthearted, thrilled, elated, right? Cheerful, gleeful, euphoric, ecstatic. All of these words mean the same as happy. So whether you're in preschool, daycare, nursery school, homeschool, if someone says to you, how do you feel? You don't have to just say happy. You can say, I feel exuberant. Oh my goodness, they'll fall over. They'll fall over. Listening to a little child say, I feel exuberant, that means you feel happy. All right? So now, let's say you didn't have a good day and you feel sad. Well, how do you draw a sad face? Well, let's draw a sad face with our magic finger. Circle, eye, nose. But this time, the frown is upside down. Make your sad face. Not the sad face. So if I said to you, well, how do you feel? And you say, I feel sad. Well, sad is okay. But when we look in our thesaurus, wow. Now you can see, I put the lines there. Look at all of those words that mean the same as sad. Whoa! Okay? So let me read some of the words for you. Gloomy, heartsick, despondent. Oh, that's a good one. You feel downhearted, heartbroken, depressed. Oh, bleak. That's another one. Mommy says, how do you feel? Oh, I feel bleak. Oh, mommy will go, okay? All of these words. I feel unfortunate. I feel wretched. Oh, I feel pitiful. All of these words mean the same as sad. So I want you to make sure that you get a thesaurus. Make sure before you buy another toy, you buy a children's thesaurus. So when you have to create sentences for school, like the cat is happy, you know that happy, there are other words that you can use instead of happy. And you can write that word down and your teacher in preschool will be so surprised. Okay? So that's something to remember. A thesaurus will help you add big words to your vocabulary. Now, I picked some books out for you. And I wanted to show you how authors those who write our books, they use vocabulary words, big vocabulary words, even though they're children's books. That helps you to think and maybe use the word in context to try to figure out what the author is trying to say. So here's a good book. I love this book. It's called The Empty Pot, right, by Demi. And on this particular page, it says, the emperor loved birds and animals, but flowers most of all. And he tended his own garden every day. So there's the emperor. Now, they use the word emperor, and that's a big word. The author could have said the king, because a king means the same as emperor, but he wanted to use a big word. See? All right? And on the next page it says, but the emperor was very old. He needed to choose a successor to the throne. There it is. You see the word successor. He could have said he needed to choose the next person in line for the throne. He could have said that, but he wanted to use a big word. And the big word that he used was successor. And now, when you hear that, it tickles your ear. It sparks something on the inside because it's an interesting word. Emperor, king, successor, next in line, right? Here's another book. I love this book. Musicians of the Sun. This is a beautiful book. Now, on this one particular page, it says, Lord of the Night gave wind a turquoise shield, a black thundercloud, and shining silver lightning. Wind took the weapons and swept across the mountains, searching for the house of the sun. Notice he used the big word. And that big word is turquoise. Turquoise. A turquoise shield. Now, he could have said he gave wind a bluish green shield, because that's what turquoise is, the color of bluish green. But he used the word turquoise, which is another word that tickles your ear and gives it more, it makes it more delightful. And it gives you a way to sort of comprehend what he's saying and gives you a vivid picture as to what the author is trying to say. Turquoise. It's another word, a big word to add to your vocabulary. And here's another book. Max found 2 sticks. You can add these books to your library as well. So on this particular page, it says, Max watched the drummers with amazement as they passed, copying their rhythms. The last summer saw Max. Then with a nod and a wink, he tossed Max his spare set of sticks. But remember, the first sentence said, Max watched the drummers with amazement. Amazement. That's a big word. Now, the author could have said, Max watched the drummers with surprise. That's okay. Max watched the drummers with awe. That's nice. But amazement gives it more depth and more meaning. You see? That's what words do. It gives you a different meaning. It builds your skills of knowledge. Okay? So that's why it's important to build your vocabulary. And you build your vocabulary by reading words, reading words, listening to conversations. Yes. Sometimes beautiful words are in songs when you hear them on the radio. And so when you hear big words, try to hold on to them. Try to keep them in your brain. You may not understand the meanings right away, but hold on to them and hold them close to your heart, because as you get older, your brain will say, I remember hearing that word when I was 2 years old. And guess what? It will come back to you, and you'll be able to read it and spell it and speak it, use it in a sentence, right? And just build your arsenal of words. All right? So I want you to look at another video of a little boy. He loved this word. He used this word when he was 3 years old, and he's older now, and he loved this word. I want you to find a word that you love, but listen.
A big word, and it is exuberant. And exuberant means like you're excited when you're at your friend's house and you spend the night and you have fun with them in the basement and you run around and we play basketball and your friends are there. You play basketball all with your friends and exuberant. Vomit.
Did you like that? That was nice. So this concludes Learning with Miss Nancy. And remember to tell all of your family and friends to subscribe to my channel. Until next time, bye-bye.